Good afternoon, Mr.
Fizzle.
Oh yes, Fizzle, of course. Anyways, I'm sure you know why we're here today. Witchcraft, illegal possession of a dangerous weapon, trespassing, cyberbullying, vandalism, and of course, tax evasion.
Yes, however, I find it rather odd that the two of you are here. Last time I checked, Piltover is out of your jurisdiction.
Hey, look behind you! A talking squid!
Oh hey, Tentacle Friend. For a second there, I thought you were trying to trick me.
Get out!
Aha! So you're not really police officers at all. You're just voice actors trying to steal my subscribers away from me with your cameo appearance in my video.
And we would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling squids.
Well, I guess it's back to doing reaction videos. Come on, Nick, let's get rolling. We've got bigger fish to fry.
Sure thing, and don't forget to subscribe to our channels. Just click the annotations on the screen.
Where did TF go?
I'm right here.
No, I don't mean you idiot. Okay, so anyways, me and Brewmate went to Batman v Superman. Like, we're big fans of Half in the Bag and Red Letter Media in general, and we saw their review and it was just like, yeah, this movie really sucks, and we're kind of wanting to go see it for ourselves because the fan reactions are actually a lot better than the critic reactions, and some fans were actually explaining the movie in a way that made it sound pretty good in ways that people can overlook it, like as Ben Affleck said, like, oh, this movie's too smart for audiences or whatever. It turns out that might be kind of the case in a number of ways, but I'm gonna kind of get into that because I actually like this movie. I'd probably give it 3.5 stars out of 5, just right out of the gate. But yeah, it got a 28% approval rating from critics, but audiences loved it pretty much. So yeah, I think people are just kind of being a bit snobby with this movie and just hating on it for a multitude of reasons probably, but yeah, I think Zack Snyder films in general, he's kind of got the Michael Bay thing, where his movies get really bad reviews. Obviously, Michael Bay is just, all his movies are very shallow, and it's obvious why he gets bad reviews, but yeah, Zack Snyder, I don't know, I like his films. I don't really like his films, but like, some of them have a really nice visual style to them, like 300, which also got pretty bad reviews. I think he's really good at making a film look really nice and executing it like a certain way, but I think his weaknesses come with like writing and stuff and making things make sense how they play out, because I can understand why people would complain about Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, because it's kind of awkward at times. I guess I can just get into spoilers right now because I'm talking about the movie as is. But I guess I should start with the complaints about the movie. A lot of people complain that the movie's like way too long. It's about 2.5 hours, so not as long as Lord of the Rings. But then again, the Lord of the Rings movies were really good, so that kind of justified the 3 hours and whatnot. But I guess it felt kind of, they put way too much stuff in it. Like, they didn't need Wonder Woman, they didn't need there's a scene that's basically a teaser for like the upcoming movies where it shows like Aquaman and the Flash, and they show like a 10-second clip each, which is basically a little teaser trailer for each one. And it's just like, okay, the movie could have done without this. And Wonder Woman was crammed in there like just willy-nilly, and it just didn't add anything to the plot of the movie, and it just kind of, they should have spent time elsewhere. If you've seen Spider-Man 3, it had like the same problem where there's too many characters and they can't develop them within the time frame. Batman is really well developed, Superman's decently developed, everyone else is just like, it feels like they cut like an hour of character development out of the movie, especially with Lex Luthor. He seems partially developed for the first hour of the movie, and then he just goes from like, we want to keep Superman under control, to suddenly being like, okay, we have to murder Superman. Like, just boom, next scene you see him, he's like wanting Superman dead. And one thing I liked about this movie, any Batman scene, Batman was definitely the best part of this whole movie. Every Batman scene was really good. It felt kind of like a Batman movie with everything else thrown into it. And
Left its seeds while I was sleeping. More of this kind of story or not. And the vision.
Ben Affleck, really great in this movie.
I agree.
I know people were complaining because like, oh, bring back Christian Bale, but like, yeah, Batman, this is what happens when I don't use a script, by the way. Ben Affleck is a really great actor, I think. I think a lot of people agree on that.
I'm getting slow in my old age, Alfred.
Even you got too old to die young, not for lack of trying.
Daredevil was a really terrible movie. Not at all Ben Affleck's fault. That was just a terrible script and just terrible execution. He played a really great Batman, and the Batman in this, like, it's the really like gritty, like dark sort of superhero thing. Like, it's kind of funny because Marvel has the bright and cheery superheroes, but Marvel has the dark backstories, but the movies are all bright and cheerful, and it's like the other way around for DC. I guess not with Batman. Batman's pretty dark and gritty, but like with Superman, they made him like super flawed in this movie, and that's kind of the point, even though the Superman comic itself was all like, oh, he's perfect and he'll always save the day. But yeah, kind of clever that I haven't seen Man of Steel, but I've heard it's really awful. I think people kind of, they probably saw this movie as more Man of Steel, just like they're trying to retcon, or like fix the like bad parts of Man of Steel, like the whole overlooking the collateral damage. Like, this is the whole plot point of this movie, is that Superman caused all this collateral damage and Batman's all pissed off and like crazy because his dad died. So he's like, he's not actually murdering criminals at the start, but he's like branding them with like a molten like bat symbol, and when they get put in prison, the other prisoners basically kill these branded prisoners. So Batman's kind of like left behind this whole like no killing thing, and he's basically killing people because he's just like sick of it. But the movie doesn't like explain this, so it just seems really weird if you're not invested into it. And I think one of the problems, when they say it's too smart for audiences, I think the thing is not that it's too smart for people to comprehend it, but it takes a long time to get there, and a lot of people are gonna not have as enough interest or investment into it to care. And then when the crazy scenes later on happen, they just seem really weird and jarring in comparison to what you know Batman and Superman to be. The fight scene was really awesome. I think that's like the one thing everyone agrees on, is that the fight scene's really awesome. People complain it's too short, but really it could only work being short, like if you're making it a serious movie, because either Batman's gonna win right away, or he's gonna get his ass kicked, like, due to fatigue and crap. But,
He has the power to wipe out the entire human race. If we believe there's even a 1% chance that he is our enemy, we have to take it as an absolute certainty.
The greatest gladiator match in the history of the world. God versus man. Day versus night.
You're psychotic.
That is a 3-syllable word for any thought too big for little minds.
yeah, decent movie. Another issue was, like, when he's about to kill Superman. Actually, I should explain this whole scene. When Batman's about to kill Superman, at the end of the fight, Superman's like, oh, I just wanted to save Martha. And Batman's like, Martha, why'd you say that name? Why'd you say that name? And then Lois Lane shows up and she's like, it's his mother's name. And then Batman's like, oh, we're gonna bring her back alive. I promise you I'll get Martha back for you. And it just, like, it seems like a complete 180. But the thing is, the way that fight goes, Superman is given an ultimatum to, like, either work with Batman or kill him to get Martha back. And at first he wants to work with Batman and say, like, hey buddy, we should work together. You see, my mom is, like, gonna be killed here. But Batman's just not having any of it, and he just wants to kill Superman at this point, like. And so it just turns into the big fight, and then this part at the end of the fight, Batman kind of, I think, realizes that Superman's just like him, comes from the same spot, like the same point where he cares about, like, saving his mother, and Batman can relate to that. And then he's like, oh crap, okay, I'll help you. But I think that's basically how that goes. So it kind of makes sense to me. Lex Luthor, though, that was, why did they cast what's his face, like Eisenberg? What, I forgot what his first name is, but Lex Luthor is, like, he's like the Joker, basically. Like, Half in the Bag made that comparison, but he really is. He's insane, but, like, not quite as much as Heath Ledger's, like, Joker. But, like, he's constantly saying weird crap and just seems like he's insane. And it's just, it would be a good character, I think, if it wasn't supposed to be Lex Luthor. Like, he'd be a great other character, and then the movie could have done without Lex Luthor. But, yeah, definitely a decent movie. I'd say it's worth checking out, definitely. The build-up, like, actually, another complaint I can say. The first hour of the movie, it felt great how it was really slow-paced and was just setting everything up. But it never picked up the pace until the fight, and it kept the slow pace for, like, another half hour, and it was just like, okay, you could speed this up a bit, like, they could have sped it up, like, and then did a little bit more on Lex Luthor, like, have the same running time even, and just have more happen, like, and take out the Wonder Woman and, like, all that stuff. Like, they didn't need that. Like, it really cheapened the movie. Like, it just became, like, advertising for the Justice League movie. So, yeah, decent movie. It has flaws, but it's not awful. I think people are hating on it too much because of Man of Steel and Zack Snyder, but yeah, I'd recommend it. Mildly recommended. It's not amazing, but it's not terrible. So, yeah, I guess that's all I have to say on that. Hope you guys enjoyed this second episode, and yeah, hopefully I can get it out soon enough. The movie will probably be out of theaters by the time I do, but hey, I kind of... Okay, there's not really any excuse besides I suck at drawing, but okay, bye.